everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger from Sacred Soul Empowerment, here with my new Empowered Moments video for the week of Monday, August 14th through Sunday, August 20th, 2023. So for this week's Empowered Moments video, we're going to be using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann for the main message for everyone. And your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, and I'm really excited about this because it's a brand new deck and I've not used it yet. Well, I used it for myself. But this is called Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians Oracle Deck. And this is by Sophie Bashford. I had to make sure and say that right. Sophie Bashford. And the artwork is by Hillary Wilson. And the artwork is stunning. So Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians Oracle cards. Brand new deck. All right. So this week, we are now closed out of the Lion's Gate portal, but the energies of Leo are still strong this week with the Sun in Leo and a new moon in Leo. So we'll get to talking about that. We'll also look at your stones of choice here. But before we do any of that, let's go ahead and start out by doing an empowered moment. So if you would close your eyes, relax your body and clear your mind. Make sure that your feet are flat on the floor with your arms and legs uncrossed. And sitting with your spine straight, but yet again consciously relaxing all of the muscles and tendons from head to toe. Focusing on your breath, your breathing in through your nose, and exhaling through your mouth. Another deep breath. Exhaling, visualizing this beautiful etheric golden white light of God, Source, Energy, Universe, Great Spirit all around you. And imagine this source energy is energizing you and activating you still in ways beyond your conscious knowing. Breathing in that intention deeply into every cell of your body. As you exhale, imagine a grounding cord coming out of your root chakra, going down deep through the layers of Earth, Mother Gaia, and connecting to her crystalline heart chakra in the center of the earth. And imagine in your next inhale that you're breathing up Earth, Mother Gaia's nurturing, loving, healing energy from her heart chakra. Breathing it up and in through the grounding cord. And as you exhale, it's being dispersed throughout all of your energy bodies, throughout all of your chakras, so that you have the energy both from Source coming through your crown chakra and Earth Mother Gaia coming in through your root chakra to help to balance you physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And balance is a good thing. The energies have been intense lately, at least since the beginning of this month, but even through the month of July, as we had been gearing up towards this powerful Lion's Gate portal of energies, with the activation energies that are happening, the light codes that were streaming down, the full moon that began the month of August. And now we're in that closeout cycle of Lion's Gate, but we have a new moon this week. And the new moon is in the sign of Leo, Leo the lion, the heart of Leo. And now we get to plant new seeds or initiate a new beginning in our heart chakra energies, expanding into unconditional love, both for ourselves and for other people on the planet. This new moon in Leo activates new beginnings with our creative self-expression, joy, happiness, positive authority, leadership. And it activates new beginnings with our inner child who wants to feel safe and secure and recognized and appreciated. So let's breathe in deeply the intentions that I just spoke of for this new moon in Leo. Breathing all of that in, the creative self-expression, the activation of new energies for the heart chakra and unconditional love, leadership, joy, happiness. And this new moon, although it is activating all of these wonderful new light energies, is also going to be in a square to Uranus, which is the planet of freedom and liberation. And a square is sometimes a challenging energy. So in a nutshell, what this means is although we have new beginnings with this new moon, we also might have redirections and possibly even some endings with that connection to Uranus, who wants to liberate us and break free of anything that's confining, that holds us back, especially in our emotional expression or our creative expression. So breathe in with acceptance and with even a welcoming spirit, whatever redirections might be happening during this new moon, knowing that it's in your soul's highest and best interest, that you'll be realigned according to the divinity of who you are and where you need to be or where you need to go next. And that your angels and guides have your back. They are supporting you and guiding you and assisting you through each step along the way. One last deep healing, cleansing, balancing breath. Breathing in that intention. Exhaling. And in your own time and when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and return to this time and place and space. And get ready to take a look at your stones of choice for your special message card a little bit later. So I felt like I was in an orange kind of mood. There we go. Sometimes I feel like even though Leo, the lion, probably rules the solar plexus chakra to own our own inner authority, and it's that courage and confidence and leadership ability, somehow I also associate it with the sacral chakra, which is that orange color, for that creative self-expression and that passion. So our stones, our pendants of choice here, we've got tangerine quartz. And tangerine quartz, this one's wrapped in silver and Reiki charged with the vibration of number 3, the number of joy, happiness, abundance, and expansion. The energies of the sign Scorpio, the sign of sensuality, sexuality, clairsentience, and personal power. The activation and balancing of the sacral chakra, chakra that rules creative self-expression, passion, and sexuality. And this one has the energy of Archangel Haniel infused into it, the archangel of increased intuition and healing abilities, and who is known for her connection to moon goddess energies. And we do have a new moon this week, right? All right. And then pendant number 2. This one is raw carnelian. I know I've shown this one before, but it's so beautiful because it's such a deep, dark orange, and it's a raw stone, so it's not tumbled and polished, but it's still got such a beautiful, vibrant, orange-colored energy. It's wrapped in gold wire and infused with the vibration, again, of number 3, the number of creativity and communication, the energy of Libra and Scorpio for harmony and merging of energies in partnerships. The activation again of the sacral chakra for healthy sexuality and passion within relationships. The energies of the water element for intuition and clear feeling, which would be like clairsentience again. And the connection to goddess Pele. She's the goddess of passions and heart's desires. She's known as like the volcano goddess in Hawaii, goddess Pele, goddess of passions and desires. And then your last stone of choice, it's also going to be related to the sacral chakra because it is tangerine aura quartz. Now, this one's a little bit different. The first one was tangerine quartz. This one's tangerine aura quartz. And you can see it's, I guess, a deeper, more vibrant orange color. It's got a reflective kind of quality to it. This is wrapped in silver wire and Reiki charged with the vibration again of the number 3. It might be hard to choose because they're all orange and they all vibrate to number 3. Number of creative self-expression and positive self-esteem. And the wording might be a little different for each one of these. The qualities of the sign of Sagittarius for inspiration, imagination, and visualization. The energies of Chiron for healing past life wounds and traumas, right? Related to the sacral chakra. So the past life wounds and traumas related with our sensuality, sexuality, femininity. This one has the activation and balancing of the sacral chakra for self-worth and healthy sexuality, the energies of Archangel Raphael to heal the physical and emotional body, and Archangel Gabriel to assist with all forms of creativity and a life purpose that involves communications and the arts, I should say. So the first one again was the tangerine quartz, very light, pale orange color there. And the second one is the raw carnelian. And the third one is that tangerine aura quartz. Okay, so let's talk about the astrology for the week. We start out on Monday the 14th with Venus, the planet of love and relationships, but she also rules personal resources like money and finances, and she is in Leo still, and she's retrograde. Remember, she went into Leo quite a little while ago. She's been retrograde. She's retrograde until September 3rd, turns direct in Leo, and remains in Leo until October 8th. So a good long time for Venus being in Leo. And on Monday, she's going to be trine Chiron, the wounded healer, who's in Aries. Now, Chiron's also retrograde. So both of these planets, as they positively connect by a trine, are both in retrograde motion. So Chiron rules, again, those past life wounds in the sign of Aries, where he's currently at. He's going to be bringing up these wounds regarding our sense of self-identity and self-confidence and self-esteem and individuality, standing on our own 2 feet. Now, because they're both retrograde, it's really internalizing this energy of this particular transit. It's really having us look within, especially with our divine feminine energy, right? Because Venus rules the divine feminine. We're really looking in at our divine feminine energy, the nurturing part of us, the intuitive part of us, the caretaking part of us. And we're needing to turn it in towards ourselves. So we're needing to take care of ourselves. We're needing to have healthy boundaries in relationships, right? And take care of ourselves. We're needing to find our own sense of self-worth and self-esteem as Venus is retrograde in Leo. Leo wants to be appreciated and recognized, but we have to appreciate and recognize ourselves. And again, even though this is a positive connection to Chiron, it still could bring up some wounding, but it's much more supportive in healing some of those wounds with this aspect. On Tuesday the 15th, we're going to kind of combine Tuesday and Wednesday the 15th and 16th, because on Wednesday we have the new moon at 23 degrees of Leo. Now, the day before, the dark of the moon, we have the sun in Leo challenging or squaring Uranus, which is that planet of liberation and freedom, individuality and independence. Uranus, wants to break free of the status quo, be a rebel, beat to the beat of his own drum. It's about redirection, epiphanies, aha moments. And here we got the sun in Leo, our personality and our ego, that wants to creatively self-express, or that wants to be a leader in some capacity, or take charge of our own lives in a creative way, or we want to be appreciated and recognized. And it's coming into contact with Uranus, saying, there might be some sudden and unexpected redirections, some sudden and unexpected occurrences or happenings. This could be in the realm of creative projects we're working on. It could be in matters of the heart, because Leo rules the heart. So we're talking about relationships, old, emotional connections that we might have, not just to a person, but maybe to a situation or circumstance. And Uranus is spending a good long time in Taurus. Uranus spends 7 years in a sign, and right now, it's probably in the last, 2 to 3 years of being in Taurus. But Taurus rules money and finances too, and what we value, things we value, people we value. So this breaking free could have something to do with our finances. It could have something to do with again, situations that we value in our lives. All connected to, again, our sense of self, individuality, personality, ego, because the sun is in Leo. Now, that I bring that up, putting that together with the new moon in Leo, because on Wednesday, when we have the new moon in Leo, and the moon comes together with the sun in Leo, which starts a new beginning, right? Creates an initiation sort of energy. Well, the moon on Wednesday will then square Uranus as well. The sun kind of beats the moon to it. So on Tuesday, the sun squares Uranus. On Wednesday, when we have the new moon, the moon squares Uranus. And so it's really, even though this is about new beginnings and initiation into a new cycle of energy, it almost feels like we're also breaking free of something. Now, whether that be a situation or circumstance, or whether that be an energy within ourselves. Maybe we're breaking free from certain emotions or emotional responses. Maybe we're breaking free from a perception or belief system. Maybe we're breaking free of a pattern. So there's a breaking free that kind of almost feels like endings and completion on some level. And at the same time, we're having these new beginnings. Now, also on the day of the new moon, we've got Mars, the warrior, who is all about energy, action, and forward movement. Excuse me. And it is in Virgo right now. So the energy, action, and forward movement is on a logical, mental level, Virgo. And Mars in Virgo will be in a trine, which is a positive connection to Uranus. So now we have Uranus again on the day of the new moon. So Sun square Uranus, Moon square Uranus, Mars trine Uranus. So a lot of Uranus energies here. And Uranus rules that God mind energy, which is kind of like claircognizance. It's like, we hook up from our crown chakra to the God mind, to source, to universe, whatever you want to call that energy influence. And we're getting these epiphanies, and we're getting these aha moments, and we're getting these downloads of information, new ideas, revelations, and being redirected, sometimes maybe in a challenging way with the square influence with the sun and the moon. Sometimes maybe it's in a positive way with the trine influence of Mars. Now, Mars Mars in Virgo, I should say. Mars is going to put his energy into looking at or paying attention to the details, which is Virgo. And at the same time, we're going to have these epiphanies. So we're looking at the small things around us. We're looking at the details of our situations and having these epiphanies and aha moments, and then making a plan or a strategy, which is Virgo, on how we're going to move ahead in this new beginning of this new moon. And also on the same day, Wednesday the 16th, we've got Mercury in Virgo. Now, Mercury rules the mental realm, all of our thoughts and ideas and perceptions and communications. And he's in his home sign of Virgo, one of the home signs, right? The other sign he rules is Gemini. But Virgo is more quietly and internally perceptive. Gemini is chatty and communicative and curious, and you can see all of that with Gemini. The mental energy of Virgo is kind of closed in here. Like you can't see what's going on, but the person's like deeply thinking, analyzing, critiquing, watching every little detail. And that's what Mercury in Virgo is all about. Now, again, on the day of the new moon, along with Mars trining Uranus, Mercury in Virgo is in an inconjunct to Chiron, the wounded healer. So now we have Chiron again. So the inconjunct is where we have to make adjustments. We have to make adjustments with how we're seeing something, perceiving something, analyzing something. We're needing to make adjustments on our powers of discernment, all in regards to our own healing process, the healing of the self, the healing of our confidence, courage, individuality, independence, ourselves. So a lot going on the day of the new moon there. And then on Saturday and Sunday, the 19th and 20th, we're back to the sun in Leo. And depending on what part of the world you live in, it depends on whether this happens technically on Saturday or Sunday, but the influence will probably be felt both days anyway. The sun in expressive, sunshiny, creative Leo is in an inconjunct to Neptune. So Neptune rules the spiritual realm, the unseen, the intangible. Neptune rules the realm of our angels and guides, or the realms of our ancestors. It rules dreams and the dream time. It rules on a negative sense. It can rule addictions and escapism sort of tendencies. So with the sun ruling our personality and our ego, and this being an inconjunct, which is a little tricky and sometimes can be challenging, I guess I would say first to pay attention to not going into addictive tendencies or escapism tendencies. So, things like food even, or exercise, or work, those can all be addictive tendencies. We can get kind of immersed into those to escape something else. If we're working just to work or exercising for our health and well-being, that's one thing. But if we're jumping into something and over kind of doing it to escape like what we see as our reality, or escape something else, not have to think about it, then that's where it becomes a little bit of an issue or challenge. Now, on the positive side, the sun with Neptune, even though this is sometimes a difficult inconjunct connection, this can be very creative. This can be very magical because, again, Neptune rules magic and miracles. It rules the realm of the unseen, right? The spiritual realms. And the spiritual realms, there's always magic and miracles available to us. So if we use our creativity and creative self-expression, our creative gifts, our leadership gifts, all of that sun and Leo energy, and even our inner child, right, has gifts, because the inner child is innocent and fun and happy and joyful. If we use all those Leo gifts with the sun, then magic and miracles can happen if we trust and have faith in divine timing and in the divine unfolding of what's going on in our lives. Okay, excuse me. So that's a little bit about what's going on astrologically. So let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides. We got 3 cards here, just 3. And the first one is Major Arcana 11. This is the Justice card, okay? And the number 11 is a master number in numerology. And the number 11 is the number of the light worker, the number of the visionary, the number of the one who inspires other people. But the reduced digit, 1 + 1 is 2. So these leaders, these spiritual leaders, these spiritual activators and visionaries and people that inspire others are doing it for the good of the other. whoever the other might be. Not just one other person, but let's say the collective, right? They're doing it for the good of the people, of humanity. And so this card also, though, the traditional justice card, can be about the karmic scales of justice, rebalancing. The scales of karma, basically, are rebalancing. Now, it's not surprising because this is a pretty interesting month. The month of August, if you watch my monthly Empowered Moments video, relates to the Devil card in the tarot, or the Shadow card, as it's called in the Syrian Starseed Tarot. So we're dealing with some shadow energies regarding ourselves that need to be healed, released, and let go. We're dealing with fears and anxieties that we have within ourselves that need to be seen in the light of day for what they are, and not allowed to kind of overtake us. And the Justice card, to me, is bringing some of this back into balance. Like, we're able to balance the scales, release what we don't need or what we no longer need to carry, and balance in or bring in what we're ready for, what the next step on our path is. And this is an interesting representation because we've got the woman here, Lady Justice, if you will, holding the scales, and they seem pretty equal. So, the first message could be is that there is going to be a righting of the scales. There is going to be a balance that comes in at some point. But look at how there's a reflection of her. She's here holding the scales, but it's like there's a reflection of her down here, and that is kind of like the shadow. That is what's lying underneath the surface of the consciousness. In other words, in our subconscious. There's some things down here in the subconscious that we're needing to look at and pay attention to and bring them back into balance. Bring them into the light of the day, right? We don't want to chastise the shadow side, the fears, the anxieties, or chastise ourselves, right? Or anybody else for that matter who might be projecting their shadow side. But we want to kind of have love. We want to recognize and have love and appreciation for what that shadow side showed us, what it brought to us, the learning that was brought to us as a result of that, the awareness that was brought. And then, again, with all this influence with Chiron, there's a lot of healing going on as there's a rebalancing of the scales going on. Okay? So justice is happening. Things are being right. As long as you're pure of heart, or doing the best you can, basically, right? Which is Leo energy. The higher heart chakra of Leo energy is unconditional love. So if we stay in the heart of unconditional love, that's all that's asked of us. That's all that's required. And, kind of having that awareness, doing our soul work, things are going to come back into balance, whether it's within us or situations and circumstances outside of us. Let's take a look at the next card. The second card. Okay, the second card is also Major Arcana 1, the Magician. I love this because this is saying that we, as the creator of our reality, or we could say the co-creator of our reality, along with the divine, that we're able to manifest what it is that we desire. First, we have to know what it is that we want and what we desire. Then we have to focus, envision, or focus that intention, in the way of what we want, what we desire. Then we have to use our tools. The magician always has tools available to him. I'm not sure if they're shown in this card. Right now it looks like he just has magic coming out of his hands, but in some renditions of the magician, he's holding, like a wand, a crystal wand, but there's also all of the elements at his disposal. Those are his tools. He's got, the air element, the earth element, the fire element, the water element, also in the tarot known as, the swords, the pentacles, the wands, and the cups. So he's able to utilize and use all these tools to create his reality, to co-create his reality. And look at, he's got this kind of universal vortex open. And I love that because, again, we just came out of Lionsgate Portal officially, but, I hear and see a lot online that suggests that we're having one final push as we near the full moon at the end of August, which is maybe I don't even know if it's in next week's video, because I think it's August 30th. So August 30th, we have a full moon in Pisces, and Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And so we're really going to be completing, releasing, and letting go by around that full moon. So we're going to have like this final push basically to release and let go with this vortex of energy that has been opened with the Lionsgate portal. There's still, energies, perhaps if they're not the same cosmic energies from Lionsgate portal, there are other cosmic energies that are happening with the planets. Okay, with whatever's going on out there in the cosmos. And you can see all this kind of, again, magical energy. There's magical energy coming down from universe into the hand of the magician, and then from the hand of the magician out into this portal that he's kind of creating and infusing with intentions, kind of like stirring the pot of intentions, positive intentions, to create his new reality with this new moon in Leo, activating these new beginnings. Okay, let's look at the last card. Okay, the last card is another major arcana. It's major arcana 9, and this one's the Hermit. So interesting that we have the 1 with the magician, new beginnings. Of course, we have the double 1 with justice. And then the 9 is the last single digit, which can mean completion and ending. So there's a lot of endings and new beginnings kind of being spoken of here. But the Hermit kind of withdraws within, which is interesting, right? This is about going within to find your own light, going within to seek your own answers, going within to hear the messages from your higher soul self, from your soul, and kind of lighting your own way. You can see kind of this light here around the Hermit. The Hermit's sitting at the top of a cliff. The path is down here below, but he's not down here on the path quite yet. He's up here still meditating on what the next step is, on what to do next. And he's finding those answers within himself. Those answers are being illuminated in the silence and meditation and self-reflection that the Hermit is going through. Sometimes in the card, the Hermit, you see the Hermit walking a path and holding a lantern. This Hermit is sitting still. He's not anywhere near this path down here. He can see the path from a bird's eye viewpoint. He can see the path from an expanded perspective. He can see how far or so far that it might go. He can see the steps, at least the next few steps that he's going to be taking once he's ready to take them. But right now he's still thinking about it. And that's kind of like that Virgo energy, right? We've got Mars in Virgo, we've got Mercury in Virgo. Next week, we'll have the sun moving into Virgo. So we're in a reflective mode, not to mention that Mercury in Virgo is going to go retrograde. So that really is a message of taking some time before you make a decision to walk forward on the path, before you take the next steps. Now, if you want to take next steps or the next steps are offered to you, go ahead and take them. But remember that reflecting on them, thinking about them, analyzing them, creating a strategy about them is one of the things that the Hermit card here is sort of imploring you to do, right? Take some silent time to go within. And even this Magician is kind of, looking down into what he's created. So he's kind of in an inward mode, right? He's not looking up, he's looking down at what he's creating down here. It hasn't quite come up to the physical realm. He's sitting here in the physical realm. What he's doing is down here, just like the Hermit is in this more internal space. I feel like the Magician here is in an internal space. And even the Justice card has this duality thing where we're in, third dimensional reality here, but we're also internal, going within down here. So all these cards have a bit of self-reflective inner kind of energies to them. All right, let's go ahead and see what messages you get. Special message depending on your stone of choice from our new deck. So the first stone was the tangerine quartz. Okay, tangerine quartz people, special message for this week. For the new moon in Leo, tangerine quartz message. Oh, the boys. Of course this one's sticking up. I wasn't really looking until just now. Star Maiden and rest. Well, that's all that internal energy. We've been through a lot. There's been a lot of high vibrational energies. The new moon on Monday and Tuesday, we're in the dark of the moon before the new moon on Wednesday. So this is calling for us to take some time for self-care. Take some time to rest and rejuvenate yourself. You can see that she's in a very restful mode. She's got her eyes closed. She's sitting on the moon here amongst the stars, but she's not in any rush or any hurry. So don't feel like you have to be in a rush or in a hurry. This is a time after all of these energies that have been occurring the last few weeks to allow them to integrate. Allow them to integrate. You might feel more tired than usual. You might need more rest than usual. Do some self-care, some healing work on yourself, or go to healers. This is a time to just, for you, Tangerine Quartz, to go within and have some rest. Okay? All right, put that back in the deck. And then the next stone is the carnelian. The raw carnelian, special message for raw carnelian people for this week. I'm not seeing anything pop out to me yet. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. It was on the bottom, but then now it's in the middle. Oh my gosh, we got Star Maiden again. I really didn't know it. Okay, so rest, and more rest. Downtime. Self-care, right? I don't even know what else to say about it. They just said drinking lots of water. So drink lots of water. Drinking lots of water. Get out and moon bathe, star bathe. Get out in nature during the day. All of these things are going to have a rejuvenating effect for you, okay? Wow. All right, tangerine aura quartz. Tangerine aura quartz. All right, tangerine aura quartz. Special message, tangerine aura quartz for the week. All right, this one's calling my attention. Stop it. I don't even know. I'm just totally without words. Like, I can't believe this one came out again. I honestly am here to tell you. I'll show you some of the other cards in a minute, because this is not the only card in this deck. I don't even know how many cards are in this deck. This deck has 44 cards, and every stone of choice said rest. Rest and relax and rejuvenate yourself. All right, well, there's nothing else to say here. That's what we have to do this week, everyone. All right, so I'm going to put this card down by itself. I'm going to show you some of these other cards. Like we've got, what was that first one? Aditi. We've got Imhotep. I don't even know how to say that. We've got Mermaid of Lemuria. I'm not going to show you all of these, but Kalima. I mean, really, there's all these different kinds of cards, and everybody got Star Maiden. So I think there's a message about the stars there too, right? We just came out of Lion's Gate and the Sirius portal, the star Sirius. So there's something about, and maybe we have to look at some of the other star systems or fixed stars in our astrological chart. So there's definitely something here with the goddesses of the stars. This is Star Maiden, goddess of the stars, or other star beings of the stars. So maybe we all have guides right now that are from a different star system, whether it be the star system Sirius or the Pleiades or Arcturus. Almost couldn't say that. Of course, there's lots of others. So yeah, I would just meditate on that and see what else might come about as far as the stars there. Especially again, star bathing. I'm going to go back to that. Let's get out there at night and do some star bathing. Okay. All right, everybody, sending you all lots of love and light. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again next week. Many blessings, everyone. Namaste.